Final year honors 2026, part-time job, 0 chill, send help.
So I've laid down the groundwork, I've done my research, I've gone into applying, and I've applied while waiting for a letter of acceptance or something like that. Hello everybody, it's your girl BC, and I'm a final year student at Northwest University Potchefstroom campus to be precise, and I'm a part-time worker as well with the university, and recently honors 2026 applicant, right? So welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't get to miss out on anything that I'm going to be uploading shortly. Okay, I want to take a moment to unpack how I got here. So because choosing between a graduate and going into the job market or doing a postgrad degree, it's giving existential crisis because you've got choices that you need to make, right? So I'm going to be talking about getting into the job market or getting into or doing a postgrad degree. Let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, I'm in my final year, and when I first started considering honors or getting into a postgrad degree, I didn't just get into applying, right? So I went into a whole detective mood to do research, checking faculty websites, and yes, I went into so much details, like going to see multiple lecturers to give me an insight of what I can get into postgrad or how, or requirements as well, because those things are very crucial when you're getting into postgrad, so you don't get to have high hopes on it and you end up not getting into because of requirements, right? So I spoke to my lecturers as well, even from first year, that are related to what I study, for example, marketing and tourism. But the thing is, when you go to a tourism lecture, obviously they're gonna motivate you to get into tourism, and when you go to marketing, they're gonna motivate you to get into marketing, but they're not forcing you actually, but just giving you a way forward, right? So it is your decision now to make a choice, right? So I went to faculty websites and I spoke to lecturers, and it gave me like a scope of what I can then derive from all of those alternatives. So after sourcing locally, like I'm gonna say that in a procurement form, I sourced local information. So I looked at things that were non-negotiable when I was comparing other programs as well. So I looked at the location of the institution. It should be some way that is more accessible to you, it's not too far from home, and it's more safe for you, for your mental health, right? So it's okay that way. So I am going with Northwest University because it's close to home, and yeah, everything is okay. So specialization as well, I want I wanted something that's gonna align with my long-term goals as well, and my interests, because you don't want to do something that you're not going to be happy about it, you're not going to be excited to get into it, it's not going to be a motivation for you to do it. So we don't want to do that. So that's why we do research, and we compare different programs as well. We look at how they are in the job market, if they are critical skills, if they are needed in the job market as well. So I also looked at the cost and scholarship as well, because you have to put these things into consideration. For example, if you are undergrad student with using NSFAS, NSFAS is not going to sponsor your postgrad, so you've got to find alternative sources. So for example, if you do well, like your undergrad, you've got good academic performance, you can find yourself bursary that's going to sponsor your postgrad. Otherwise, family as well, like for me, my family does sponsor my education, and I'm so thankful to God for that, and everything it's okay. So my side, I'm good. So honors is not cheap, postgrad degrees are not cheap. That's why you don't find so many people getting into it, right? Okay, so after I put these considerations together, the location, the specialization, as well as the cost, and obviously I also have to consider career prospects. You don't want to get into something that is not needed in the job market. I talked about it previously. So I needed to know that I'm not doing this just for extra stress. I don't just want to go into a degree just to go sit there every day, do research and publish articles, and then it ends up to nothing. Otherwise, obviously, it's going to end up with something that's necessary, right? If you do proper research. Okay, so more to that, what pushed me to postgrad degree is potential for personal growth. I want to do more. I wanted to challenge myself academically and also to expose and also explore niche topics that you really find interest in and that's needed in the society as well, and also to build credibility in my field of study as well. So it absolutely makes sense. So it is more of you expanding your knowledge, doing personal research, and also writing articles on what you've learned or what you've experienced or something that you've come up with from your field of study. And that is you exploring your niche topics as well, and also building credibility in your field of study. So it's not just about the title in this case, it's also about stretching who I am and what I know, because you're going to explore more and see that you can put it out there for people to gain knowledge from your understanding. Okay, so here's the tea. I chose honors because I felt like it was the most honest. Yes, it's not an easy choice, but it's mine, right? So the kind where I see myself growing, evolving, researching topics that I care about, right? And also networking in other fields of study as well. And ultimately giving myself a bit more time to bloom before diving into the working world full time. Because most people feel like no, especially students, they feel like no, working class people are much better than students, like they don't have stress or a little much better as compared to students. What you're forgetting to know is that for a student example, the university actually manages your time, like 70% of your time, because why? They've created timetables for you, like class timetables where you've got to attend lectures during a specific time. So you can then go through that timetable of yours and fit other tasks that you have to do within the empty spaces. But you know that from 7 to 8, I've got a B more lecture at this venue. So they've actually managed your time for you during that period. So it's left for you to manage the other 30%. Here's the thing for working class people. You've got to go outside. You've got to meet new people. You've got to work with multiple people from different cultural backgrounds as well. People with emotions, people who are just angry for no good reason. But for a student, even undergrad, especially, you've got few people that you've got to work with. For example, when you're doing group works, you've got a small, unique number of students that you're going to do a group project with, maybe 5, 6, 7, max, I think 12, 13, 14. But in the job market or in the working world, it's much different. And imagine you working with 5 people and you're already complaining of problems here and there, not being able to control them. Those are skills that you have to develop from undergrad when you work with people, like critical problem solving skills as well, time management, goal setting. What is it that you want to achieve in that group project of yours, and as well as planning, putting all of those into consideration before you get into the job market. It's much more difficult than you think. Yeah, I was scared about making this call. I had moments where I just sit and thought about it, and I was like, no, am I just avoiding adulting? No ways, because I came back to this. I'm still building and I'm still evolving. I'm just in my 20s, and honors felt like the right step in my journey, right? So it absolutely makes sense that way. And at the same time, I couldn't ignore the job market. I had to do research about it, look at job boards and salary averages in my field, and also the growth rate of different roles as well. And yeah, really hits hard, right? Entry level positions can be underwhelming salary wise, and without further qualifications, you sometimes hit a ceiling faster than expected. For example, what I'm going to say here is when students do not do research about what they want to do in the job market or what exactly they are studying. For example, some students who do marketing and tourism, you find them struggling to think what they can do in the job market after getting a marketing and tourism degree. That's a BCom degree in marketing and tourism management. So you've got a lot of things joined together, combined together in that degree of yours. You've got marketing. We're not doing the traditional method anymore. We more evolved, we more developed, we are in the World Wide Web, the fourth 4.0 standard now, where you've got artificial intelligence, and looking forward to 5.0, where you've got emotional intelligence as well. Hopefully, I don't know about that for now, but artificial intelligence is much more. For example, you do marketing. Marketing is everywhere. Social media marketing, digital marketing, advertising. You need to know, even in larger companies, when they have you've got a in larger companies, you've got a marketing manager as well, because you have to be able to reach your audience. You need to create adverts that make sense. How is it going to reach your target audience? Are you going to do billboards? And if you do billboards, where's it going to be? What's going to be there on that advert of yours that's going to catch the attention? What's going to be the frequency and the reach, and how are you going to be able to cut the clutter for that advertisement, right? So all of these things are not just going to be done by someone who doesn't have any information or knowledge about advertising, because anyone can just wake up and create an art, but we need to make sure that's going to reach the target audience at the right time, and reducing the clutter, making sure that the frequency is very high, right? Even if you look at South Africa now, with so many retail stores, wholesales, and supermarkets as well, they do this, right? So even if you do marketing as well, you go to retail, there are a lot of jobs with marketing, obviously, from retail to wholesale to advertisement, opening your marketing agency, getting into company marketing manager, advertisement manager, and things like that as well. So when you go to tourism, you've got a broad aspect of it again. When you go to hospitality, is included into it, because we do it as well. Hospitality management is part of it. Food and beverage management is also part of it as well. You go to ecotourism, being sustainable, right? When you go to national parks as well, they've got things that they put in place to make sure that they sustain the animals and they are viable for a long period of time, so they can accommodate a certain number of guests for a particular time. That is capacity management. So with all of those things put into place, you can know that you've got a lot of potentials outside that you can put into consideration. For example, working at a national park, and there's so many of them that I can't even name here. Even like guest houses, that's a new thing now. Everywhere you can easily find a guest house. That is hospitality management, right? And that is tourism as well. Tourism is not just traveling, but making sure that you've got transport, you've got accommodation that's going to sustain you, and also you have to eat. You can't just travel without having something to sustain you, right? Part-time work on campus gave me some insight as well on how I can approach the job market. And I love working, right? But not full-time as of now. Why? Because being productive, learning a new job, will I be able to grow faster in a full-time role, or invest in a postgrad and climb slower and smarter, right? Because you find so many graduates in a year that have undergrad degrees. The thing is, for example, let's look at a company's triangle. Like, for example, you've got the director, you've got the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. You've got the line managers like the finance, human resource, operations, safety and security. Then you've got line like day-to-day employees that deal with day-to-day operations of the business or the organization, right? So you're gonna notice that it increases as it goes down, but it decreases as it goes up. So you can't have 20 directors in a company now, but you can have more than 20 day-to-day, like cleaning staff, like admin, like receptionists and things like that. You can have more than 20 of them in a company, but for directors you can't. That shows you that there's a difference. The more you go, the more knowledgeable it is, and the more skills that are required. And because not everyone has got those skills, they cannot be in those positions as well. So that's the difference. You need to be unique in a certain way, in a certain position, that you can get that requirement, or you show forth that requirement that's gonna get you into that position, not just a regular day-to-day admin, or receptionist, or cleaning staff and things like that as well. So financially, the job route is tempting because you want to get into it. Okay, I want to live my life, I want to start working in my 20s, I want to get into my own apartment, I want to start building a family, I want to travel. But you need to know that, is it going to be temporal or is it going to be permanent, right? But then I ask myself, what matters more now, like the current? Because we sometimes focus on the future, then we focus on the present. And now you're living in the future. No, it doesn't make sense. But remember, the world is developing, and at certain points, maybe undergrad degrees are not going to be relevant anymore, just in case, because intelligence is getting over the world. So I chose a stronger foundation, and I knew I had to honor not just my future CV, but also a version of myself that I'm building right now. Right? So my next steps, remember I told you I'm still in my final year, so I have to survive final year first before we get into honors. I'm just an honors applicant for 2026. So, but seriously, I'm refining my research interest, because now it's more like a foundation where you've got introduction to certain modules from first year, and then you've got a bit more advanced second year, and now a final year you've got to elaborate more and be able to apply it into real life scenarios as well. So connecting with my lecturers is one thing that I love more, and it absolutely makes sense. I call it networking, I don't know, but I just love it that way. Like most of my lecturers, I build relationships, like academic relationships, right? Go to them for queries. I don't understand this. How can I approach this? It's very important. You might not understand now until when you want to get into something and you need a recommendation, but because you do not have relationship with your lecturer, maybe they're not going to feel like you are the best one for that position because you are not outspoken. So in the long term, I want a career where creativity and impact intersect, so they work together hand in hand, something like that. So whether it's in academia, whether it's in communication like lecturing, or whether it's in research, right, we're gonna see about it. Like I said, I'm focusing on the present. I know what the future holds, but focusing more on what I am doing currently, right? But we'll see about it for sure. So I am proud of that because I have actually or finally laid down the foundation for what I want to do, right? I've done my research, what is required in the job market. We're going to talk about that in another video, but keeping it to making choices between going into the job market and pursuing postgrad. It is your choice, it is your decision. You've got to weigh the pros and the cons as well. You've got to put so many things into consideration to make sure that you are not compromising any of it, right? Making sure that it is accessible to you, you've got funding for it, and you are well equipped. You are mentally okay, you are academically fine, you are ready for another adventure in the university or at the university. Like I said, I'm proud of you as well for taking that move. I'm gonna see you in 2026. But otherwise, if you are someone who's unsure whether you want to work or you want to pursue a postgrad, I get it, right? It's hard choosing between stability and growth. We want to keep evolving as the world also evolves, but again, it's your choice. So here's my advice. You have to tune into what you value now, not just what looks good on LinkedIn. Apply even if you're scared, and don't let the imposter syndrome drive the car. Put it in the back seat and even let it hold the snacks for you, because remember, you're the one on the steering, right? It's your life, it is your choice. You can make whatever decision that you want to do, but remember, it is your life again. So the decisions that you make now might affect you, or they might build you up. So for sure, do research, think about it, get into it if you really want to, whether it's the job market or you want a high or a good paycheck now because you want to live the life, or you want to build yourself more for the advancement of the world with intelligence. Like I say, remember, we're getting into sooner or later into the World Wide Web 5.0, which is the emotional intelligence. Right, okay, so I talked about it, right? And if you have any other thing that you want to go into it, or you are still figuring it out, or you are still finding funding opportunities as well, and still believing that the best stories are the ones that are written by ourselves. So no one can tell your story better than you do. So it is your life, it is your choice, and whatever decision that you make, remember, you should stand by it. So catch you in Honors 2026, family. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to post a comment, right? Tell me how you feel in the comment section. Were you scared and nervous about getting into it? Maybe the job market or getting into postgrad, right? So let me know. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe as well so you don't miss out on more upcoming videos concerning matters like this, especially with getting an undergrad degree and being confused about what you want to do next. So bye, see you in my next video.